We are doing 10-minute labs with the one and only Mike Bernier, who probably knows more about growing a real estate business, running a real estate team, growing a real estate company than I would say almost any human being in this country. Is that an overstatement, Mike, or is that like a perfect intro?
I think I'm going to carry you around in my pocket for that intro everywhere I go. I like that intro.
We'll do trumpets and fanfare. All right, cool. So Mike has been, you've been a solo agent, a team leader, and now you run one of the largest independent brokerages in America, correct?
You got it. We're sitting about 575 real estate professionals today that we've put together over the last 6 years.
Wow. All right. And that's Realty Group in Minnesota. I'm going to set the timer for 10-minute labs. This is, by the way, if you watch a lot of these 10-minute labs, if you're watching this right now on Facebook or YouTube later, 10-minute labs is brought to you by LCA Elements, which is a really cool platform that's going to be launching early next year. And Mike is actually one of two deans of LCA Elements. So maybe we'll even give a little teaser on that too. Is that possible?
You got it. Whenever you're ready.
All right, let's do it. So Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. Here we go. It's thinking. There we go. We got our 10-minute timer.
We're good. Right,
so first question. This has been a crazy year for almost every human being on this planet. There's been some challenges, some ups and downs, and the world is going back into this world of maybe COVID's popping back up and in a serious way in certain pockets. How have you dealt with the challenges this year?
I'll tell you, Jesse, it's a good question. So first off, I've been through a lot of shifts in the real estate market, right? We've seen things like, the foreclosure market, which you were part of that, you back in those days. We've seen interest rate hikes. We've seen, disruptors enter the marketplace like iBuyer. Some people freak out a little bit, but this is so different because the challenges aren't one challenge. We're not talking about a particular single challenge. We're talking about a multitude of challenges that went from health to fear to politics. You got to remember, in Minnesota, the riots, they broke out here. That's where they started, right? So, you've got people with, problems within their families, mental health problems. Like COVID has really pressed on just about everything. So in order to deal with it, you can't treat it as like a one single problem. It's not just COVID. It's everything that comes along with it. So it's really put our focus on the emotional intelligence and stress management side of the business, really helping people develop in personal development to deal with all the stuff we're dealing with.
Huh. And you just said a mouthful there, by the way. You
exactly.
said the emotional intelligence and stress management side of real estate. What does that mean for you and for the people in your world?
Okay, so when you think of high stress jobs, you might think of like trauma surgeons or soldiers, people that deal with stuff, police officers. But I look at real estate as almost like the waterboarding of trauma. I mean, every day we're literally dying the slow death of people putting all their stress and all their problems on us. I mean, they literally use and abuse us. The things that are said to us, the expectations are held of us in real estate, it adds up. We don't release the stress in the same pace that we collect it in this business. So having the tools to really deal with that type of stress and emotional management, a lot of agents really lack that, and they end up paying for it in the end.
Yeah, and you probably know this one, but zebras as an animal have a way to get really stressed and then run as fast as they can, and they stop once they're away from their predator, and they like shake and they let it all out.
They do.
We can't do that, obviously, as people. So how do you train your agents? Like, how do you teach this skill? What do you do?
Well, literally, I teach them to run in a circle in the office and shake until they feel better. No, it's really about trying not to bury it. We've gotten people working with everything from mindset coaches to life coaches to a therapist to whoever they need to deal with. They're just looking at a lot of material online. You can find information all over the place, but we can't just act like the job doesn't affect us. Especially when we're talking about COVID and all the stuff we're dealing with there. Again, 575 real estate professionals in my organization. The stories I hear that they're dealing with, both professionally and personally, there's a lot. They need to really focus on their mindset because skill set cannot exist independent of mindset. You're not going to have a great skill set in real estate if your mindset's really in the toilet.
Yeah, and write that down, guys. If you're taking notes, that's a great quote. Skill set. What did you say? Skill set cannot exist
independent of mindset. It has to start with mindset.
Yeah, I love that. By the way, we do have a fan here. If you guys are watching, if you have questions for Mike, feel free to chat him in. Lita, I don't know if you know Lita. She says, "Hey, best people in real estate." There you go. You got a fan. I love it.
I don't see who the people are on. I don't get to see that. Where's that at?
Oh, I just put the comment up at the bottom of the screen there. You can see it pop up on your screen.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, they have to type in a chat message for us to see them. All right, so I got another question for you. Ready? So, changing gears slightly, there's been a lot of challenge, but also some opportunities that have come. What do you see in your particular business as some of the opportunities that are showing up for 2021?
So I love the fact that you said the word opportunity. And again, going back to every single time in real estate, whether the market's good, it's not good, whether the sky is falling, whether the market is stable, there's always going to be opportunity. If you look at the foreclosure crisis that happened back in 2008, there was still a lot of real estate transactions that happened nationally, just a smaller amount of people that actually did them. So the opportunities that we're seeing here, and by the way, I also want to give this out to people. If you look at it kind of like success leaves clues, successful people tend to make decisions very quickly and then abandon them very slowly. Where people that are less successful tend to make decisions very, very slowly and then abandon them rapidly when something doesn't work out. So the opportunity I feel exists in the fact that right now, being able to connect with your clients, whether you're a team leader, a broker like me, or a solo agent, really having the ability to connect. That's where the opportunity is right now. People are isolated. They want to connect. They want to hear from you. They want to build a relationship. So if you're in that Zen state of wanting to really build relationships, connect, and move your needle in your business forward that way, that's where the opportunity is. And keep in mind, a lot of people have decided that the market is not good. They're not going to do business. Nobody wants to move. When you make those type of decisions, you're going to reinforce them by your actions. You're not going to feel good about picking the phone up. You're not going to feel good about making the calls. You're not going to feel good about doing activity. You will keep yourself busy doing the wrong things. The opportunity is in doing the revenue generating activities over and over again, building your pipeline, building relationships, and I promise you will sell houses.
I love it. So what do you think is the biggest thing that experienced agents are doing wrong or making a mistake with these days, other than just obviously mindset? So is there anything else you see, because you deal with a lot of agents, what else are you seeing out there?
Okay, so one thing I see is people get, one of the big mistakes they make is they kind of get, what's the word I'm looking for? They get, what's the word I'm looking for? So for example, I might have information, like I know exactly what I should do, right? But the distance between information and taking action, that's where the mistake is, right? So people will keep themselves busy all day long. They'll hang out at the water cooler, they'll talk, they'll shuffle paperwork around, they'll show a couple houses, they'll go home, they're like, oh, I was so busy today, but they really didn't do the things that would actually make the money, right? So the mistake is they're focusing in their business and not on their business. So the focus on their business this is really the key takeaway. Build your pipeline. If you're building your pipeline, not just focusing on the clients that you have, but if you're building your pipeline and you got 15, 20, 30 people that are going to use you to move, well, guess what? If one falls out and you lose one, no big deal. If somebody offers you a 4% commission because that's what the other person offered and you walk away from the listing, no big deal. You've got other stuff going. So the mistake I see people make that are successful is they don't leverage enough. They work on the wrong things. They're not really building that pipeline the way they should. That's where I think the money's going to be made.
I love it. All right. And so is there any technology you're playing with? Because you're a pretty techie guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any tech that you're playing with that you're excited about in terms of agents building their pipeline or just any systems? What do you think going into 2021 is what people should be focusing on?
So I'm always a guy about leverage. I want to make sure that, when I'm spending my time, if I got 1 hour to spend, it's the most efficient and, high dollar producing activity I can do. So if I'm looking at my database of people, I've got 200 people in there, 2,000, 20,000, whatever that number is. I want to make sure I'm focusing on the right people at the right time. So technology-wise, there's a few different things I'm recommending. One, predictive analytics. We're using Revaluate at a high level, and Revaluate is a predictive analytics system based on life event. So it knows by big data, if somebody's going to be moving based on whether somebody passed away, somebody's getting married, somebody's having a baby. So all these different reasons you may not know. It lets you know, hey, you need to focus on this person. I'm also looking at, technology to see when people are in their home search, when they're active, when they're in looking at listings, when they're in, like they haven't been in them for 3 months and now they're back, or they saved one listing 3 times. I'm probably going to want to follow up with that person. Or if they're engaging with the content, if I'm sending content out to them, I want to make sure that, hey, look, they're looking at my content. They really like mortgage information. I'm going to give that person a call or send them more on mortgages because they're likely going to engage. So I don't want to just spray and pray and just make calls. I want to make sure I'm sniper approaching it. And I'm going to call the right people at the right time with the most highest odds that they're going to want to do something.
You have so many good lines, Mike. You don't want to spray and pray. I love it, dude. All right, we got 2 minutes left. Let's change gears a little bit because a lot of people have probably seen you in Lab Coat Agents, or if they've heard about Elements and they know it's coming. You're one of the deans, right? What is something you're excited about in terms of Elements? Why are you working on this project?
Well, because what we're really trying to put together with Elements is more of a university-style education platform. It's not coaching. It's not just where you're getting on and watch a couple of webinars. It's literally like university-style learning for people at different levels. So if you're a newer solo agent, you're probably not going to be on the same track as somebody that's more in that advanced track and they're building a business. And by the way, that's something we should all be talking about, is treating your business like a business, not being self-employed conducting business, but getting to the point that you're running your business like a business. Elements is going to help you with that. We've got another track in Elements that we call Genius. That's our highest tier. High-level brokers, high-producing teams. They want different information. They got different problems to solve than somebody does that's doing 15 or 20 transactions a year. So we broke this down with high-level professors. We're talking about people that do amazing things in real estate, the best of lab coat agents. And we've also added, speaking of mindset, we've added that component. We're looking at Elements in terms of a 5-pillar approach: mental or mindset health, physical health, spiritual health, financial health, and relational health. We're focusing on all of it because here's the other thing. You cannot develop in your business if you're not developing personally. You will outscale yourself. At some point, you're going to cap out. You need to develop everything at the same level. It's like driving a car with one inflated tire and 3 flat ones. You're going to go in circles. You got to develop all at the same time.
I love it, dude. All right, 10 seconds or less. Favorite book you've read in the last 12 months?
On F Yourself. That's my favorite one for the last 12 months. I would say the whole word of it, or the whole name of it, but I don't want to offend anybody. But On F Yourself by Gary Bishop is a fantastic book, especially for what's going on right now.
I love it. If you can hear that, that is our 10-minute timer. That is awesome. What a good way to end that. Mike, so if those of you watching, by the way, Mike and I have been friends for a very long time. This was really, really fun to get to do the 10-minute labs with you. We had someone put one of your quotes already here. Check this out. Here we go. Maura said, so true. Are you working in your business or on your business? You might have heard that before if you're watching this, guys, but go back and really take a hard look at how you spend your day. It's a good one.
If you tracked all your time during a day, most people are spending 70-80% in non-dollar producing activity, like production supporting activity, versus actual production, like pipeline building and lead generation activity. That's what's got to flip.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear more from Mike, I think Sandra just tagged us in the comments. Feel free to send Mike a friend request, drop a question here. We'll keep an eye on the thread. This is fun, dude. Want to do it again?
Let's do it again.
All right, everybody, enjoy your night. I'm going to click the stop button here, Mike. You want to hang out for just a sec? And everybody.